What's going on, everyone? It's Gendo here. Welcome back to the FM Scout YouTube channel, and today's Football Manager experiment is what if Eddie Howe took over as England manager. Before we get started with today's experiment, I want to direct you over to my channel, Gendo FM, where I'm currently running an Athletic Bilbao save, trying to take a team of only Basque nationality players and try to turn them into domestic and European giants. So go and check it out after the episode's done. Now, most of you know the situation of what happened after the 2016 Euros. England crashes out of the competition, forcing Roy Hodgson to be fired, and that set off a whole slew of comments over who should take over as next manager. Names ranging from Sam Allardyce to Sean Dyche to Gareth Southgate being promoted from within up and down the list, and Eddie Howe found himself on that list as well. But the FA passed over on him mostly because of his age and inexperience, only being 38 at the time. They didn't feel that he was the right fit for the England side right now. Not to say that he won't be a good fit further down the line. They felt that he was a bit inexperienced, Bournemouth achievements notwithstanding. And that is the whole purpose of what we're doing today, is to see how Eddie Howe would actually get along as England manager. If not just to see what his results are, to see what team he picks and the players that he picks over the course of a four-year span. We have his contract set from the 2017 season all the way up to the end of 2020, so right at the end of the 2020 Euros. So we'll see how he gets on during qualifying of the World Cup proper, and then the European Championship qualifying and tournament proper. So let's get into it. So using the editor, we set the start date for this experiment at the 2nd of July 2017, where Eddie Howe has just been promoted as English manager. After finishing last season with Bournemouth in 11th place, continuing to move the Cherries further up in their development in the Premier League. So he's not doing too bad with that side, even virtually. But if you've never seen Eddie Howe's stats before, he looks like an above-average all-around manager, just favoring more attacking style than defense, but still prefers that all-English 4-4-2 formation. And Eddie Howe is actually coming in the middle of World Cup qualifying. Let's take a look and see how Gareth Southgate was able to get on with this side before Eddie Howe took over. And it looks like they got 4 matches left to go: Slovenia, Slovakia, Lithuania, and Scotland. And I'm seeing a lot of green, so Gareth Southgate must have put England in a very prime position, which is exactly what they did. 5 wins and a draw through the 6 matches. They just have Scotland nipping on their heels, but it looks like England got themselves into a decent position of getting themselves qualified for the World Cup. Just taking a look at what the squad looks like now. This is Gareth Southgate's last picked squad, so then we'll take a look and see what Eddie Howe uses going forward. But it looks to be a fairly standard English side, even in real life. Joe Hart, Fraser Forster, Jack Butland as your goalkeepers, Michael Keane, Stones, Cahill, Smalling as your defenders, your center backs at least, Walker, Klein, Cresswell, Shaw, Michael Carrick as your wing backs. Actually, I went too far there. Carrick's not a wing back, but midfielders of Carrick, Sterling, Lallana, Barkley, Jack Wilshere, Dele Alli, and then you get up to the wingers: Ox, Welbeck, Rashford, and then strikers Sturridge, Kane, and Vardy. So like I said, a fairly standard national side as you would see in real life. Let's go zoom ahead after those 4 matches, see how England gets on, and see what squad that Eddie Howe has picked. So we zoom ahead 3 months, and let's take a look at the fixtures of what England have done. And as you would expect, it's been a mostly dominant run, winning 3 out of their last 4. Very conspicuous draw to Slovakia, but it is enough to win their group and get themselves through the World Cup, as if that wasn't a foregone conclusion already. Let's take a look at the senior squad and see if there's anything that has changed between Southgate's selection and Howe's selection. And so far, all the goalkeepers are the same. Looking further down, Callum Chambers, Eric Dyer also making it. Also looking over here, Eric Dyer been sold to Man City. That's very interesting. Further down, we have Jesse Lingard, Adam Lallana, James Ward-Prowse, John Joe Shelby has been brought into the side. Okay, very interesting selections there. Dele Alli as well. I don't believe Dele Alli was there the first time through. So yeah, not a lot of change. I guess it's the steady as she goes mentality, and it has worked in the past, so why fix what ain't broke? Taking a look at the tactics, and Eddie Howe does in fact use the 4-4-2, continues to use it in this English side, and let's just take a look and see what his preferred starting 11 is. Kane and Rashford up top, Lingard, Lallana, Dyer, and Ox along the middle, Shaw, Stones, Keane, Klein along the back, and Joe Hart as his #1 goalkeeper. I wonder if that'll change come World Cup time. So let's go zoom ahead and see how Eddie Howe gets on in his first major international tournament. Can he lead England to a World Cup title, or at the very least, a very respectable run? So the date is now the 16th of July, 2018, and you can tell it's the end of the World Cup because a lot of international jobs are available. But looking over to the right, Argentina win the World Cup. Tough luck, England, but let's take a look and see how well you did with Eddie Howe as manager. And Eddie Howe still is England manager, so he must have done something right to keep his job. How far did England go in the competition? They made it all the way to the quarterfinals, but they lost to the eventual winners in Argentina, losing on penalties. It was 0-0 after 120 minutes, but then they lost 2-1 in the penalty shootout. Marcus Rashford getting himself the only goal, the only penalty goal for the side. Shelvey, Kane, Lallana, and Henderson. Very peculiar penalty shootout takers, but you gotta wonder if they was the best option available. Looking at the Argentinian side, Dybala and Messi were the 2 goal scorers there for Argentina. Biglia, Paredes, Mercado on the misses. And it looks like that England, yeah, they may not have had the most possession, but they had more of the shots. You figure that they should have come away with a goal or 2 versus Argentina. They were just unlucky going all the way to penalties. Let's take a look back and see how well they did through the rest of the competition. They beat Austria 1-0 in the second round, and they were drawn into a group of Congo, South Korea, and Brazil. They beat Congo, South Korea, losing to Brazil by the score of 2-1. Let's go into that one, see how well that was. Dele Alli getting the only English goal. Jordan Henderson with an own goal 2 minutes in. That's what did him in right there, as Felipe Anderson was the only one that scored a goal proper for Brazil. All right, so we've already seen a couple of players on this English side. Who exactly, I should say, was brought over to the World Cup this time around? Hart, Forster, Butland, that still remains the same. Dyer, Keane, Stones, Phil Jones, Kyle Walker, a couple of new faces in there. Klein, Shaw, Danny Rose, Jordan Henderson, John Torrell. Now that is a shock. John Torrell coming in from Arsenal, 23-year-old, as a center mid. Yeah, and he hasn't gotten a lot of caps beforehand. 2 caps, and maybe one of them was in this competition, but that's actually a pretty shocking inclusion. Anyway, looking further down, Rashford, Lallana, Shelvey, Ali Sturridge, Ox, Welbeck, Callum Wilson, and Troy Deeney getting included into this. Troy Deeney only having 1 cap. I don't even know if that cap was during this competition. Let's take a look at that. No, it wasn't. It was in the lead-up. It was in the run-up to this competition. Troy Deeney not used in the World Cup at all, and then Callum Wilson getting himself a couple of caps as well. Interesting picks, not going to lie. Interesting picks, trying to bring in some youth, trying to instill a little bit of youth into this English side. I say that Troy Deeney is 30 years old, but hey, you can't blame Eddie Howe for picking who he picked. It must have been the best available at the time, and hey, it got them to the quarterfinals, so he must have done something right. Tactically as well, continuing on with the 4-4-2. Let's take a look at that. And this must have been his most recent lineup. I guess this was versus Argentina. Kane and Welbeck up top. Rose, Ali, Henderson, Ox along the middle. Shaw, Jones, Dyer, and Klein along the back. Joe Hart in net. So yeah, not a bad lineup. Not a bad pick. It's just that they were unfortunate not to advance further in the World Cup. So let's take a look and see how they get on in the Euros, starting off in qualification. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, why am I showing you the qualification process? Well, do the names Terry Venables and Steve McLaren mean anything to you? Because those are the last 2 English managers that did not make an international qualification, and I wanted to hope and see that Eddie Howe would not be the 3rd. And he obviously got himself through to the World Cup, so let's take a look and see if he was able to do that for the Euros. And it looks like he did. I saw a first place sitting up top, and with 10 wins out of 10, I could safely say that they are through to the 2020 Euros. And when you have a group of Norway, San Marino, Greece, Faroe Islands, and Estonia, you should be winning that group 10 times out of 10. So congratulations, Eddie Howe. He makes it to a Euros. One thing I also did find very funny is that Kosovo, in their first ever chance at going to a Euros, has made it, coming in 2nd in their group. And that's actually not a bad group either. Switzerland, Slovenia, Sweden. That's a very good group for Kosovo to come out of their 2nd place. Now, with that being said, let's take a look and see one more time what the national team looks like at this point in time. And I already see one change to the goalkeeper. Jordan Pickford has been brought in. anything else going down the lines. Jay Rodriguez. Where's Jay Rodriguez? He is actually contracted to Everton right now, but in real life, he plays for Southampton. So very interesting addition there. Danny Rose is back. Drinkwater. Danny Drinkwater has been brought in. James Ward-Prowse back in as well. But yeah, only a couple of changes in that entire side leading up to the 2020 Euros. So now that England have qualified, let's see if they can overwrite what had happened in 2016. So it's the 13th of July 2020, and England did not make the Euro final. Italy defeated France by the score of 2-1. So let's take a look and see where exactly England finished in this entire thing. And oh my, that's not good. Bert van Marwijk has become the new English manager. That means something bad happened. Let's take a look at the fixtures. They had a group of Poland, Scotland, and Bosnia, and they lost to Serbia in the second round. Wow, they crashed out of the Euros the second time in a row, losing in the second round after going undefeated in their group. They lost 1-0 to Serbia. Ivan Kalic is the only goal scorer there. England completely dominating the match, just like against Argentina. They completely dominated the match shots-wise, this time in possession as well. And they didn't get the job done. They didn't even get a goal. Serbia's defense just completely shutting them down. That's amazing and very, very sad. And apparently it's what cost Eddie Howe his job. Let's take a look at Eddie Howe. Because, okay, what was that date? 6/29? 6/29. Let's take a look at when did he get fired? He got fired 7/1/2020. So immediately after losing into the second round, he got himself fired. Wow. Oh, man. You cannot 7-point your group and then lose to Serbia. That's just very unfortunate. Well, I guess that shows exactly what Eddie Howe and how Eddie Howe would do if he was taken over as England manager for the next 3 years. He would do very well, and I think that the style that he uses can get the job done. Apparently, Football Manager just doesn't think that his tactics or his team selection will work in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think that Eddie Howe should be the next England manager, or do you think that he will be England manager somewhere down the line? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Everybody else, please let me know any sort of suggestions you want to see on this channel for any more Football Manager experiments. Also, please remember to make sure to subscribe to the Football Manager YouTube page and check out the website fmscout.com. It's a site that I absolutely enjoy to use, and I hope you guys do it too. If you want to go get yourself tactical advice, player profiles on stars or wonder kids, or if you want to go and get yourself add-ons like what you saw today, namely the kits, the logos, the name packs, it's where I downloaded it from. You can go and download from FM Scout as well. But anyway, guys, this has been Gendo, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care, and peace out.